Good evening, guys. I hope everyone is doing well. Can everyone hear me? Hi. Awesome. Okay, so welcome. Good evening, and welcome to today's model. Um, Thank you for joining. I hope your day went well. I hope everything is going on well. You have been able to create your Fiverr seller profiles. Possibly, you've been able to create your first gigs. Okay. Some have sent to me for me to review, which I'm still doing. Okay, but I hope everything is going well for everyone. So, today we are continuing with our Fiverr training session. Okay, and we have gotten to that stage where we want to look at how to get our first order. Okay, how to land our first order. So, strategies that can be used to help us land buyers and then consistent sales on the platform. So, that is what we are going to be doing today. I hope it won't be as long as yesterday's session because everything is pretty straightforward, okay? But then if anyone has any question, if something I say in the course of the session isn't clear, please feel free to ask. Also, if there was something about yesterday which you didn't get and you would like me to go over, please let me know. I'll be happy to do that, okay? Before we dive into today's session, I just want to read through some um, gig descriptions that I wrote, okay, relating to the request some of you made. I'm not done because there were some other areas that you asked me to do, but I haven't been able to do them yet because I've been engaged in other things during the day. So I'll share my screen with you and then take you through, I think, about two or three of them, okay, in different areas. I think one is on whiteboard animation, the other one is on article rewriting, yeah, and I think there's one on data entry or proofreading or something. But we'll just go through them quickly and then we'll dive right into what we are supposed to do today. Okay, so I think this was the second one I worked on, and this is article rewriting. So the person who requested for article rewriting, and kindly take note, okay? So the title I selected was Provide Expert Article Rewriting Services in 24 Hours, and then do SEO article writing and essay rewriting in 24 hours. If you look at the tags that I found on Fiverr, which were the most searched tags relating to this particular gig, we have article rewriter, we have article rewriting, article writer, essay writing, SEO article writing, okay? And I think among these, the one that had the most search results was article rewriting. So that is what I tried to use in the title. And I think while we go on, you notice that I use it at least 3 times and then I use the others at least once. Okay. So the description is, are you worried about turning your old essay into a perfect new article for a project? Okay, so the question is there. I am here to take all your worries away. I will rewrite your article or essay in my own words and style while also paying close attention to spelling, grammar, coherence, and readability. I have 7 years of experience as an article rewriter, having worked with countless college applicants and reputable newspapers and magazines. I make sure not to change the essential foundation of the text you have already produced. I will just make it better and more readable while maintaining and improving its essence and focus. The integrity of the text is very important to me, so I always do my research to understand the topic and make sure that the content is accurate and helpful to your public. Okay, if you remember from yesterday's session, we said that you must provide assurances to the buyer. So that's what the person is doing over here. Okay, so I go on to say, you won't be disappointed if you click that buy button. I guarantee on-time delivery, overall creativity, and a great original voice. Attention to every detail, topic research, limitless revisions, SEO article writing, essay rewriting. So you notice I have SEO article writing here, essay rewriting. You find that in the tags over here, essay writing and then SEO article writing. Okay. So if you have any questions about this gig, please feel free to message me. I am at your service and I will answer any and all doubts you might have. Then a notice as well, please message me before you order more than one article. I work with larger orders, but I have to adjust to the delivery time accordingly, so please contact me first. Okay, and I included this in the article writing template because when I was going through Fiverr to look at some examples, I noticed that most sellers had this. Okay, and it was for a very good reason. If you are not specific with what you are offering, you can take on a contract that is bigger than what you should have taken. Okay, and then you find that you are going to put yourself through a lot of stress. So anyone who wants to sell gigs that are very stressful, that have the tendency to invite huge projects, I think it's important to issue this kind of disclaimer so that the buyer knows exactly what you are offering, and if the buyer wants more than that, then that disclaimer is there and that notice is there for the buyer to first contact you to discuss any other sort of project the person may be imagining. So the second example we want to look at is the whiteboard animation video. Okay, and when I searched on Fiverr for whiteboard animation, these were the most searched tags. We had whiteboard animation video, whiteboard video, explainer video, animated video, whiteboard animations. Okay, I think the first one had about 6,000 search results. Okay, the second one had about 3,000, the third one 3,000, almost 4,000 if I remember well. Then I think the least was about 1,000, almost 2,000. Okay, so these are very good tags. So I picked the first one for the title, and you find it in the two examples I've given over there. I will create whiteboard animation video in 24 hours. Okay, straight to the point. It catches your attention and contains the most important tag. Okay, then the second example is I will provide expert whiteboard animations in 24 hours. Okay, it also contains the essential tag and is straight to the point. So the description, I tried to merge my ideas with one that I saw which I felt was very good. Okay, so the person also began with a question: want an engaging whiteboard animation video or explainer video for your brand? There's a question. You are at the very right place. Okay, then the person goes on to say what you offer. He doesn't mention his experience though, but then he goes on to say what he will offer. My package details script writing. Then he explains what he means by script writing. My premium package includes script writing. If you want scripts more than 225 words for your whiteboard animation, please contact me through inbox for custom quote, okay, or custom price. Then revision policy. There are 3 revisions round included in the package. Okay, then branding and color scheme, subtitles. Okay, so he lists and actually explains what it is he's offering so that the buyer is clear in their mind what it is they are getting in for. Okay, then he ends by saying I offer 3 packages, so hopefully one will match your requirement. This particular person was a top level seller. Okay, and you remember yesterday we said that once you start receiving a lot of orders and you are advancing up the levels, you can use the 3-tier pricing system. So that's what he is using. Okay, so he says I offer 3 packages, so hopefully one will match your requirements. But if you are looking for a whiteboard animation with something included that isn't mentioned, inbox me as I'm happy to create a custom offer for you. Okay, this is similar to what we just looked at. He has also left a notice or a disclaimer so that if you are not clear about what you want him to do, okay, you can message him for that. If you want a longer video, please inbox me to get a quote. Feel free to speak to me before ordering. And then the tags are there. You have the whiteboard animation video, whiteboard video, explainer video, animated video, whiteboard animations. I don't know if I worked on another one. No, I think it's the same thing. Yes. So I will actually be working on more tonight concerning the other ones that you asked for. And then I will put the document in the group so that anyone who needs us at a template, can easily have access to it and then use it. So today we actually want to be looking at tips to get your first order. And if you are a follower on my YouTube channel, you know that I've spoken about this on a number of videos, but I want to go into more details because there are certain crucial things that I leave out in my videos, either due to time constraints or because I'm saving it for those who are actually serious enough to follow up, like you guys. So we'll be talking about the buyer request, okay? Everything there is to know about the buyer request. We're talking about how to get orders with sharing links. We'll also talk about how to utilize social media groups to get orders, okay? And in this particular model, or this particular way of getting your first gig, that is social media groups, we'll be looking at it from two perspectives: sharing your links to drive traffic, and then actually joining groups with specific intent, okay? So we'll look at that, and then we'll discuss more strategies if there are any. So I think I'll begin right away by talking about the buyer request. And I want to share my screen so that you know exactly what it looks like. Okay, so this is the buyer request tab if you are on your PC. If you are using the app on your phone, you can locate it in one of the tabs down there, okay? But the idea of the buyer request is that you are actually sending out offers to buyers who have sent requests concerning the gigs you are selling, okay? And like I say in the video, some buyers are not they don't have time on their hands, okay, to actually search through all the sellers on the platform. You've seen that some categories have as many as 10,000 sellers, okay, the logo and graphic design, and they don't have the time to go through to see who is the best. So they just put out a request, and then those who are selling the gig will send out their offers, and then they pick the best offers, okay? The good thing about the buyer request is that even if the buyer does not place an order with you, the buyer will definitely click your gig to see what it is you are offering, okay? And all those clicks coming from the multiple offers you are sending to different buyer requests are going to add up and help the algorithm push you further up the search ranking, okay? Because like I always say, the algorithm is going to interpret the clicks as interest in your gig. So it's important to always send out buyer requests, okay? Not specifically with the notion of getting an order, but so that you help the algorithm put you out there and then possibly land your first order. Another thing you have to know about the buyer request is that you can only send 10 offers a day. So if you look at this section of my space over here, 10 offers left today. I haven't actually sent an offer today because I don't make use of the buyer request anymore. But you can send only 10 a day. So if you are selling a particular gig where there are always buyers putting out requests, then you have to make sure that you read through to send offers to those who are actually worth sending offers to, because there are some buyers you would meet and you regret ever having met them. And so it's important, if you're in that sort of situation, you go through carefully to ensure that you are utilizing your 10 offers on the right people, okay? So the reason why buyer requests don't work for many people is the way they put out their request, okay? Some people, no, sorry, the way they put out their offers. Some people send offers as if they don't have manners, okay, or they have no upbringing, or someone just didn't teach them how to correspond with people formally. And some buyers are actually put off by that. So the way you draft your buyer request counts so much, okay? And I'll be dropping a document in the group at the end of this session so that you look at exactly how you should draft your buyer request, okay? These are templates that you can copy and paste, okay? Just replace certain things with the gig you are offering and the offers you are, bringing to the table. But it should be in a very professional manner, okay? I had looked forward to an opportunity where I would send out a buyer request, okay? I'll switch to the buying and then I'll send out a request and see the sort of offers people send so that I use it to teach the session. But then I didn't have the opportunity to, I don't know why. But I'll still do it anyway, okay? So it's important that the offer you are sending out in response to a buyer request is very, very, very good, okay? That is the only way you will get. And I'll share with you some of the offers I've sent and those that ended up in orders, okay? It's so important. What you should look out for when you are sending a buyer request is to go straight to the point. Don't beat about the bush. Don't try to force the buyer, okay? Don't be pushy because it's actually very annoying. I just want to give you an example. It hurts me I couldn't get an example, a practical example, but someone sending an offer to the buyer and then beginning by saying you. Okay, sometimes I get messages in my DM and people wanting help from me or wanting clarification and they go saying you. I don't mind, okay, but some people take exception to it. You, and then they drop their question or they drop whatever it is they want. Some are not even gracious enough to begin with you. They just start with whatever they want. Some make demands as if you were born to fulfill those demands for them. And you can imagine a buyer receiving such a message when he has put out a request for a particular job to be done. He's going to be put off, okay, and then he's going to just skip to the next person. For me, it's a signal that you lack some kind of proper upbringing. And I think for most people, that is the impression they get. And it's the same with the buyers, okay? If you are sending out buyer requests that begin with you and all sorts of things, you are sending out a very, very bad message about yourself. So it's important. The first thing you should do in responding to a buyer request is thanking the buyer for putting out their request, okay? Because you want to begin by sounding courteous, begin by making the buyer feel welcome. So you say, thank you so much for putting out your request. I'm happy to offer you the services that you are looking for, okay? And then you go on to mention the service the person has asked and say what it is you can offer to fulfill that service, okay? It actually tells the buyer that you have taken the pains to understand what they want. You have actually done a bit of research and you are, demonstrating how it is you can help them fulfill that request that they want, okay? So after you've done that, you can then go on to talk about your experience. Oh, I've had this and that experience doing this and I've left behind a trail of satisfied customers, okay? And I would love for you to be one of my satisfied customers. So kindly consider me. If you are new on the platform, something I used to do when I first got onto Fiverr and I was sending buyer requests was I would tell the buyer that I have left behind a trail of satisfied clients, okay? However, I'm new on this platform, Fiverr, and I look forward to bringing my skills to bear on anyone I encounter. However, I don't have reviews and so it's going to be difficult for me to gain traction. And the reason why I would like to work with the particular buyer is to earn their review, earn their trust, so that it will help my profile make some sort of traction, okay? And then I give assurances that they will not regret it. I let them know that I have samples available for them to try to see whether I can do the work and all of that. And then I end by saying I look forward to a pleasant working experience with you. If you are interested, please send me a message. And then I end, okay? So straight to the point, you don't beat about the bush, you are not rude, you sound as professional as possible. And I'll take you through some of the examples that I used myself, okay. Very, very short, very straight to the point. Some were elaborate and some were so short. So this person was asking for a transcriptionist to transcribe 5 minutes dictation without any blanks or error. And then I responded by saying, hello, thank you for putting out your request. I'll be happy to work on the transcripts for you. You may take a look at the reviews on my profile to be sure of my work. I can also send samples if you desire. Looking forward to your response. Thanks so much. Best regards, Joel. When did I send this? I don't remember. I don't know if I can see the date somewhere, okay, but I think this was somewhere last year. And by this point, I had about 10 reviews on my profile, okay, so I could easily use that as reference. I want to look at another example. Hello, thanks for putting out your request. I'll be happy to work on the transcript for you. You may take a look at the reviews on my profile to be sure of my work. I can also send samples if you desire. Looking forward to your response. Thanks so much. Best regards, Joel. Okay. Then there was this one that I sent. So I told you that I used to have other gigs, and this was one of my other gigs. It had to do with managing social media pages. So this was the request the buyer put out, okay, and the buyer's budget was $30. So the buyer said, I'm looking for Facebook help. My company has a Facebook fan page, and we have recently changed our business name. However, Facebook has denied changing our fan page name. Here is link to our fan page, okay. So this is something I could actually do. I know about that problem, but I have a very intelligent way of changing a Facebook page name, okay. So I offered my service. I said, hello, thanks for sending your request. My name is Joel, and I'll be able to be of assistance to you. Having managed several fan pages, including one of my own YouTube fan base, this is a problem I've dealt with on many occasions. I'll be happy to help if you pick my offer. Thank you. Best regards, Joel. Okay. One thing I want to say is that when you are sending buyer requests, it's important to make an offer that either tallies with what the buyer is asking or goes down a bit, okay. So if you've made reviews already, okay, if you've had so many reviews already, you can easily match the price that the buyer has put there. But if you are beginning, an incentive for the buyer to actually purchase your gig is if you are able to undercut this price, okay, and offer something cheaper. So if the buyer's budget is $30, you can offer something like $20 or $15, okay, to serve as an incentive for the buyer to place an order with you. And you can mention it in your offer, okay. You can mention it in this offer. You can tell the buyer that to serve as an incentive, I'm willing to offer you half the price of your budget so that we can work together for a wonderful experience, okay, or something of the sort. It's so important. The mistake a lot of new buyers do is, I don't know if sometimes they don't read this thing over here, the $30, but you find some of them sending offers and then they've written $100. One time someone even sent me his, he had written $1,000, okay, and the buyer's budget was $20, and the person was complaining that the buyer had not, gotten back to him or responded. And how do you expect the buyer to respond when they are willing to spend only $30 and you have written $1,000? Okay, they will just skip you. Probably they will insult you in their language. Let me see which country this person is from. She looks like she's from one of those Singapore or Malaysia or something. You can imagine her insulting you in her language. So it's important that you undercut them, okay, offer them some sort of incentive so that they place the order with you. We want to look at more examples. I think I shared this particular example on my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's look at this one. I will edit your college application essay. I saw that yesterday someone said that I should. Okay, no one requested for it, but in case you want to sell a gig that has to do with proofreading or editing people's essays, there's a buyer request that you can use. The person said, I'm looking for a professional editor for our company newsletter. A newsletter is like a newspaper, okay, or a magazine. Like, it's something that is sent out to patrons of a company or a brand or something, okay, to keep them informed and that sort of thing. So I said, hello, thank you for putting out your request. My name is Joel and I have years of experience with editing, having served as the editor of the Seed magazine in Ghana. I assure you of optimum results if you give me the opportunity to work for you. Additionally, I have expert skills and knowledge in designing newsletters and magazines. I'll be very happy to put these gifts at your service. I hope to hear from you soon. Kind regards, Joel. Okay, and I think the buyer actually got back to me and placed an order. $5, and then I matched it with $5. Let's see another example. Okay, so you see this very long request, like a book. So me too, I give the person a book back. But anyway, let's see what the person wanted and what I wrote to the person. We are looking for sales email copywriter. Please visit our website to understand the nature of our business. Our customer base is in Europe and Australia, so the emails are to be crafted keeping their culture in mind. We need samples of your work before finalization. Please don't ask to check your gigs, okay? So you realize in some, okay, no, this doesn't relate to what I wanted to say. Below mentioned are the points to adhere to. Number one, great subject line is mandatory, should not be greater than 3 to 4 words. Number two, have a strong opening line in the email, should be related to the prospect. Make your opening line about your recipient. Don't waste your opening line with, hi, my name is so and so, and I work at such and such company. No one cares. Okay, the buyer actually wrote that. No one cares. And if you remember, yesterday I was telling you that in your description, on your seller profile and your gigs, you shouldn't be mentioning your name and all of that. It's irrelevant. They need to get straight to the point. So a buyer has actually put it there that no one cares. Number three, email should be friendly for reading on the mobile as well as desktop. Okay. Number four, email should be conversational in nature as one person is talking to another person. Be authentic and real, no exaggeration. Number five, address the pain points of the customers. Okay, the person went on and on and on and on. Okay. Whenever possible, quantify the benefits with blah 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 blah. We respond to concrete stats more than abstract concepts. So the budget was $50. For me, it looked like a lot of work, so I matched it 50. I didn't go lower than that. And the person requested a sample, so I had to give a sample in the offer that I sent. And I said, hello, thank you for putting your request out. I'll be happy to help with the project. Here's a sample I have previously worked on. Okay, you notice that I took note of the fact that the buyer said she's not interested in knowing my name and where I've worked before and all of that. So I didn't include anything of the sort. I just went straight to the point. So headline, marketing packages to make business boom. Then the body, hi, prospect. Are half your working hours filled with stress about how to make? So the point is that all of this was my sample, okay? And I think she got back to me. He or she, I've forgotten the gender, but the person placed an order and we worked together. Okay, so enough with the examples. As you can see, sending buyer requests is not just about, responding and then listing your price. You actually have to pay attention to what the buyer is asking for, offer certain incentives, list your experience if necessary, unless explicitly stated, like in the case of the woman who said no one cares. Okay, but if they don't say that, feel free to mention your experience and what you have to offer. Okay, and then if necessary, provide samples. So let me see if I can demonstrate how to use the buyer request. Let's go to the active request. You can see I have 907 active requests here. Let's see which one I can respond to. Most of these are voiceovers. Please, if you have any question relating to what I've said so far, please feel free to drop it in the comment and I'll address your question. Most of these buyer requests are voice over buyer requests. Okay, even though I sell other gigs, what does it tell you? It tells you that voiceovers are also highly sought of. So if you have the ability to speak with Lafa, you know Lafa, locally acquired foreign accent. Okay, if you have the ability to do the N and then sound American in a way, you can polish that skill and easily sell a voiceover gig because there's so much demand for it, and they are always asking for people who have the American accent. It's interesting. I don't know if you can read what the person is asking for, but the person, oh, I lost it. I think I lost it. There's a question. What is the buyer request all about? Okay, Emmanuel, I was saying that the buyer request is what buyers use to put out their request. I don't want to say a blackboard is a blackboard which is black, but that's what I'm saying. But basically, when buyers get on the platform and they don't have time to go through all the sellers to place their gig, okay, to find the right seller, what they do is that they put out requests specifying the details of what they want done. So if you sell a gig in that space, the request the buyer has put out is going to appear in your buyer request tab, okay, like I'm demonstrating. And then what you have to do once you see it is respond to it, okay, send an offer to the buyer request. And at this stage, I'm trying to demonstrate how to send the offer, but I'm looking for, a nice buyer request to respond to. All the buyer requests I'm seeing at the moment are voiceover. I think I saw one. Can you show the first offer that made you your first sale before you had any reviews to refer to? Okay, I'll try and locate it. I sent so many offers, it would be so hard to locate that first one, but I will try and locate it for you. If you haven't created a gig about a specific skill and you can see a skill in buyer request which you can do, how do you go about that? I mean, if you haven't created a gig for a specific skill, sorry, I don't really know how the request is going to appear in your request tab unless it's a mistake. Okay, sometimes the gig you are selling is related to that skill that is being requested, but maybe you don't know about it, and that is why Fiverr will put it in your buyer request. But if it doesn't relate to the gig you are offering, okay, it will not appear over there. In case you have created a gig that you know nothing about and you get to see the buyer request, you can, well, I'll not advise it, but if you're asking me, you can send out an offer, okay, and then quickly try to get another seller on the platform who sells that gig or that service for an amount cheaper than what the buyer is prepared to pay, okay, so that you can take some profit from whatever it is. And then you communicate with the person, let the person know that you want to offer this job, but you want to know whether the person is able to do it, and then ask what the person will need to have the job done and all of that. And then once the buyer messages you, having seen your buyer request, you can use that information you've had to negotiate with them, possibly land the order, and then go and give the job to that person you contacted so that the person will do the job and then you will submit. Alternatively, sorry, if you have a friend who has a skill in that area, you can just WhatsApp your friend and tell them that, Charlie, I have this gig, are you interested? And then you negotiate a price with the person, you take the order, and then once the person finishes, you pay the person and then you deliver the order. And then whatever is the difference becomes your profit. So if you are asking me, that is how I'll go about it. I hope I answered the question well. Okay, let's try this one. The person says, I need a product launch email comprising 10 emails. The email should be concise and informative. Sorry, I hope you can see. I need a product launch email comprising 10 emails. The email should be concise and informative. Experience writing for online stores will be a plus. Okay, and this is something I have actually done. I have a gig on it, which I don't sell anymore because it was too much stress. But let me try and send out an offer. So when you select send offer, Fiverr would immediately show you the gigs you are offering. And you're supposed to pick the one which relates to the request that you have seen. So in this case, it is, I will write a persuasive business letter or sales pitch in 24 hours. It relates to what the person wants, which is a launch email. Okay, launch comprising 10 emails. Okay, the email should be concise and informative. So I'm going to click that one, and then I'm going to start talking about my offer. Wait, did we see the price the person is offering this for? Okay, the person didn't list a price, which is going to be a problem, but we'll see how we can get around that. Okay, so I'm going to say, hello sir. Obviously it's a guy. Thanks so much for putting out your request. I perfectly understand the need to make, what have I typed here, like a phantom man. Okay, I perfectly understand the need to make a lasting impression with your launch emails. I have sold this service on Fiverr. I'll go and drink water now. I've sold this service on Fiverr for more than a year, and have left behind a trail of highly satisfied clients. I look forward to adding you to that number. Okay, so I've told him of my experience. What else should I tell him? The email should be concise and informative. So I have to then say exactly what I will do. Okay, trying to remember what it is I sell in this gig. I look forward to adding you to that number. Then we go on to talk about if you hire me, I will provide 2 emails with 2 subject lines per the 10 launch emails you have requested. Each will be concise, but with a different style to give you the opportunity to choose the best option. Also, I will provide you with unlimited revisions if you are not satisfied with the first delivery. Okay, like I said, you need to be providing incentives, okay, to assure the client that you are going to put your all in the work. My gig is sold at I think it's $20, but I am happy to negotiate a price that works for you. I would also be happy to send you samples, especially those pertaining to online stores. Okay, you realize that the person said experience writing for online stores will be a plus. You conclude by saying, I look forward to your feedback and providing you with excellent service. Best regards, Joel. So let's go through. I'm sure we've written something sensible. Hello, sir. Thanks so much for putting out your request. I perfectly understand the need to make a lasting impression with your launch emails. I have sold this service on Fiverr for more than a year and have left behind a trail of highly satisfied clients. I look forward to adding you to that number. If you hire me, I will provide 2 emails with subject lines per the 10 launch emails you have requested. Each will be concise but with a different style to give you the opportunity to choose the best option. Also, I will provide you with unlimited revisions if you are not satisfied with my first delivery. My gig is sold at $20, but I am happy to negotiate a price that works for you. I would also be happy to send you samples, especially those pertaining to online stores. I look forward to your feedback and providing you with excellent service. Best regards, Joel. Okay. And then you put over here your offer amount. So since the person didn't specify and my gig is $20, I'm going to put $20 over there. But I mean, if you want to give an incentive, you can lower it to maybe 15. But I'll definitely not recommend 5. Okay, if the person hasn't put an amount there, don't write 5 because the person will think you are fooling. Okay, so maybe 15 or 20, something close to what you are selling the gig for. Then the delivery time. The person said 3 days. I don't know if you can see in the background over there, but the person said they want the offer delivered in 3 days. So to serve as an incentive, I'm going to say, no, I can offer this in 2 days. Okay. Revision. I said I'll offer unlimited revision, so I need to select that. I don't know if unlimited is, yeah, it's down there. Oh no, it's not selecting. Wait. Oh, okay, still here. Yeah, I've lost what I just typed. Okay, but I hope you all got it. So you put unlimited over there. Okay, I don't know why it's not selecting, but I put unlimited over there. revisions isn't selected. Let me just put 16. Ask for gig requirements, words included, headline included. So we said we'll give 2 headlines per, then we said we'll write 2 emails per launch. You can also offer competitor research, but this is not relevant to this, so you turn it off. And then you submit the offer, okay? So what is going to happen is once the buyer has seen your request and you are sounding so confident and competent and passionate like that, they are going to definitely message you. Even if they don't want to place an order with you, they'll definitely click your link to see what it is you have to offer, and that will add to the response that the algorithm is going to pick, that people are interested in your gig. Okay, so basically that's how to use the buyer request to get your first order. It's so important. Someone wanted me to show him the first offer I sent, which landed me a gig. Let me see if I can do that quickly. I really don't know if I'll be able to locate it. Well, I can't even click on it. So I think what I have to do is to go to the gigs I have sold. No, not here. Nah, orders. Okay, completed. To be down somewhere. Please, so far, does anyone have any question? No, this one was not from a buyer request. Yorkshire Trendy Bites. Let me see. No, this was not from a buyer request. I'm finding it very hard to locate the first request I sent that got me an order. Because of time, I don't want to take you through this whole process of trying to search for it. So what will happen is I'll do this work when we're done with the session, And then when I find it, I'll send you a screenshot so that you see exactly what it is I wrote, okay, and how the buyer responded. So the next thing we want to look at is how to use the sharing of links to land our first order, okay. And like I always say, the good thing about sharing your link is it helps the algorithm know that people are interested in the gigs you are selling, and then rank your gig on the recommended page, which means that someone is definitely going to see you and possibly place an order. So the way to share the link to your gig is to go on your gigs. This is the gig page, okay. You click this arrow over here, this arrow, okay, to be by the gig that you want. So you click that arrow, and then you see the share over here. So you can either immediately go and do that on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp, or you can copy the link and create a whole custom message somewhere. I think I need to go to Facebook to show you my profile. It was all the way last year, so I'm not sure if it will be easy to locate. Is there a faster way to go to last year that someone knew? If put a search button here now, I don't know if I can. Good. Fiverr is actually, sorry, Facebook is becoming more useful. So now you can actually search what you want. So if you look at my profile, you see that I shared my gigs so many times. I was just constantly always sharing my gigs. I shared this one on my Facebook profile. It had about 40 likes. So obviously more than that number clicked. This one had 56 likes, obviously more than that number clicked. Okay, anytime I shared, people were clicking. So all of that was informing the Fiverr algorithm that people were interested in the gig that I was selling, and then it helped me rank on the first page and get more orders. So sharing your link is so important. And if you don't have an active social media account, okay, if you are not actively on Facebook or any of the social media accounts where you cannot guarantee that people are always going to be clicking your link, what you can do is, go to Facebook and then search for Fiverr groups, okay. Let me see if I'll find any Fiverr groups. Okay, so we have one group like this, Fiverr Gig Promotion Review Exchange. You search for groups like that, you join those groups, and what you're going to find here is that this group has 86,000 members, almost 90,000 members, and people are always sharing their gigs, okay, because they know the strategy. They are always sharing their gigs, and people are always clicking. So it's going to help them rank. So that's a way to go about sharing your gig. If you don't have an active social media following, you may want to join a group that has so many members and be sharing your link with them, okay, so that they click, so that they find out what you are also selling. The next strategy we want to look at is using social media groups. I said there are several ways to go about it. So one way is link sharing, okay, like we have done over here. We are just sharing our links. Another way is, if you remember yesterday, I spoke about gig favorites, okay. And the gig favorites help Fiverr to know that people are interested in your gig. So there are so many things Fiverr is going to consider in knowing people are interested in the gig you are selling. And we have the sharing of your links. And another thing is the gig favorite. So what you can do is when you come to a Fiverr group like this, you can post the link to your gig there, but then don't just end there. Don't just end at putting the link to the gig. Tell the members in the group that you want them to click on your gig and favorite it. Okay, the favorite is that heart button. Let me see if I can. Yes, you see this love button over here, favorite. So yes, add it to say favorite. So when you go in a group like that, you can ask them to click on your gig and then favorite all your gigs, okay, and you do the same for them in return. So everyone is going to leave their gig in the description or the comment, and then as people come on your profile to favorite your gig, you're also going to do the same for them. And the higher the number of favorites you have, the higher Fiverr is going to rank you on the first page of the search engine, which means that you are in the best position to land your first gig. And that is why this feature is so important. If you remember yesterday, I showed you all the gigs that were ranking on the first page of Fiverr had a very high number of favorites. Okay, 1,200 and something, 100 and something. Myself, I had 200 and something. Okay, on this particular gig, I had 50 something on this particular gig. But you can see how important it is. So that is another way to use the social media to promote your gig so that you get your first sale. Ask them to favorite your gig. So we'll see an example here. Gig favorites. Can everyone see gig favorites exchange? Do mine and send me link with screenshots. So the person puts their gig link over there and see the number of comments the person has had, 1.5k. So I'm just imagining 1.5 thousand people, okay, 100,000, no, 1,500 people, okay, have actually clicked this link to favorite it, okay, which is incredible because it's going to do so well for this gig. At the end of the day, the person has killed two birds with one stone. The person has shared their link, so all the people clicking are going to help the algorithm rank the person's gig, okay, and at the same time, the person is going to get so many people favoriting their gig and is going to make it rank on that first page. So definitely the person is going to get an order or more orders. It's an incredible strategy. The next thing you want to do utilizing social media is to search for specific niche groups, okay, that relate to the kind of service you are offering, okay, not necessarily Fiverr groups, okay, but niche groups. So if you are an architect and you are selling architectural drawings as your gig, you can look for groups that have to do with architecture and join those groups, okay. If you are selling transcription, you can look for groups that you think people will be looking for transcription. So YouTube groups, okay, content creating groups, okay, groups that have a lot of videographers in them, okay. If you are selling a gig that has to do with marketing businesses on social media, you look for groups that contain businesses, okay, as in business owners who have come together to share ideas and all of that, and then you join all of those groups. Now what you are going to do is once you have entered a group like that, you are going to be an active participant, okay. You're not just going to be dropping your links by heart, that's spam. So you're going to be an active participant. You'll be listening to the discussions they are having. You'll be leaving comments. You'll also be leaving what's the name, contributions to whatever people are posting. Then you can begin to make your own post, okay. Say that, hi, I realize everyone here is into active content creation and I am actually a professional transcriptionist, okay. I've been providing quality transcripts and I felt that I could bring value to the table. So if there's anyone in this group who is interested in transcripts, okay, those of you who are making movies, if you want someone to do subtitles for you, or you are creating YouTube videos and you want someone to get the transcript so that you can upload it to your YouTube video, feel free to contact me, that sort of thing, okay. so that you are not just leaving your link over there and spamming everyone, but you are kind of bringing value to the table. Already they've seen you, they've noticed you are active, you are actually, taking part in conversations and all. So once you post that there, everyone will know that you are serious about helping, and definitely they are going to message you. You are going to get direct orders, okay, from those groups. So it's a good strategy you would want to consider. Okay, so as far as social media groups are concerned, we have spoken about three ways, okay, of utilizing them. We've spoken about sharing your links. We've spoken about requesting for gig favorites, and then we've also spoken about joining niche groups on social media, not only Facebook, okay, but any social media, YouTube, anywhere, okay, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, anywhere, okay, and then you go by all these strategies, you are definitely going to land your first order or more orders. So if anyone has any question, please feel free to ask me and I will respond. While we are waiting for a question, I also want to hammer the fact, okay, hammer the point about always being online. I've spoken about it in an Instagram live video that I shared, so I didn't feel the need to include it, but then I just want to show you how important it is to always be online. Majority of the first orders I received did not come from buyer requests, no, just about one or two or three came from that. Did not come from these gig favorites. I actually didn't know about the gig favorites at the time I was starting, okay? I didn't know about joining groups. There are so many things I'm sharing with you I didn't know about at the time I was starting, but I learned them on the job. What I did know was staying online, and it brought me the largest number of orders because, I have explained, many buyers don't have the time to wait for the right seller and all of that. So when they get on the platform, they are immediately going to look for those who are online and then send their request, okay, interact with them, ask them if they can do their job. Once you're online, you can respond, and then you get your first order for yourself. That was how I actually got my first order, okay? I didn't get my first order from a buyer request. I got it from staying online. Even if you just leave your account online, okay, on the computer like this, the way everything is on, and yet you go and sleep, when the person messages you, okay, when you return later and the person says, oh, I have given the job to someone already because I wasn't getting feedback from you, the good thing is that you have already established relationship with the client, okay? So you can always do a follow-up to ask if there's something you can offer, maybe the following week or something, okay? And this is important because the way Fiverr is designed, you cannot directly message a buyer as a seller. You cannot. It's just not possible. So you are always at the mercy of the system to bring buyers your way. And the good thing about staying online and missing, the opportunity to chat with the buyer at the time that they needed you, but then sending a follow-up message. The good thing about all of that is that you establish that contact that you can always fall on if you want to send offers much later, okay? So it's important that you are always online. And this does not only relate to you going to bed, okay, in the night and then leaving your account on and going to sleep. It relates to holding your phone all the time. When I began, I was always searching my bar requests, okay, to send responses. But the point was that because I was doing that every 5 minutes, the system was showing that I was always online. Always online. And some people check their bar request once a day, some check twice a day, some once an hour, once every 2 hours, okay? And so the system is going to show you online and then offline, online and then offline. So there's that sort of consistency is not there, okay? And it's going to be very difficult for buyers to notice you as a new seller. So what I was doing was I was checking every 5 minutes, okay? When I'm chatting with my friends on WhatsApp and I'm waiting for their response, I just close and then I jump to Fiverr and I'm just going around looking at stuff, just being on Fiverr, okay, if I see a buyer request, I send my offer and then I look at what else is going on. Then if my friend messages, I respond, I chat, then I jump back to Fiverr. I was always doing that, okay. I I just want to hammer that staying online is so important, okay. It's actually what is going to do most of the magic for you as far as getting your first sale is concerned. So far, we have put every other thing in place. We have done our killer seller profiles. We have done awesome gigs, okay, with the best of SEO strategies to make sure that we are ranking. We've looked at so many ways of, helping people discover our gigs to place orders, sharing our links, responding to buyer requests, gig favorites, joining niche groups, all of that. So once you have done all of that and you just stay online all the time, it's just going to be very, very easy to land your first order. And so for some of those who I have mentored, just an hour after creating their gig, they've had their first order, okay? Someone even 30 minutes after that. Some people a week after, some people 2 weeks after. I haven't heard of anyone having to wait for more than 1 month after, okay? So it shows you that all these strategies work very well. Ronald says, so when you are established and all so when you're established and all, do you still need to be online all the time? That is the amazing thing. All these strategies are only to help you in the beginning, okay? Because you don't have a pool of clients you have already worked with who can come back later. You don't have reviews to show that you can do the job. So we are just looking for that ability to get our first pool of clients and possibly our first set of orders, okay? And so these strategies are just temporary. They are not, it's not something you are going to subject yourself to for a very long time, okay, because it's very stressful and you cannot sustain this. I mean, you fall sick. I mean, just you just fall sick. You can't sustain this, okay? So it's just for the beginning. And once you are able to get your first set of clients, once you are able to get your first set of reviews and all of that, all of this becomes useless. As you saw my profile, the last time I sent out a buyer request was last year. I haven't actually had need for that tool anymore. It's useless to me. I don't remember the last time I shared my link on social media. I don't remember the last time. As for the gig favorites, I have actually never done it. It was in doing my research about more strategies that I actually got to know about it. I asked some people to try it and it worked out for them, okay? But I never tried it. Okay, but most of these things I have mentioned to you, I don't use them anymore because now I have fulfilled so many orders. I have an established pool of clients. I can deactivate my account and clients will be messaging me when I coming back on. We have work for you to do. Okay, I've had that experience so many times, especially when I'm in school and I have assignments to do and then I just deactivate my account. I have clients leaving messages in my inbox. We need you to come back. We have work for you to do. Okay, so the point I just want to make in response to your question, Ronald, is that these strategies are just for the beginning stages. Once you are able to use all of them to the best of your ability and land your first orders, your first set of reviews, everything is just going to be smooth. Another thing about getting this one does not have to do with getting your first order, okay, or your first gig or whatever it is. It has to do with getting returnees, getting more and more and more orders. It's to make sure that you are always delivering an A-class job. There's actually no negotiation when that is concerned. Always deliver an A-class job, okay? Because the buyer is going to appreciate it and the buyer is going to come again. And one thing that buyers like is when they look on a seller's profile and they see that certain buyers are always recommending this person. It's not like a one-time experience that they've had and then maybe they didn't discern well, they were deceived to give a 5-star review and the work was actually trash, because that happens. Some sellers deceive buyers to give them 5-star reviews, and at the end of the day, they provide a very horrible job, but the buyer cannot change the review because the review is permanent. So some buyers would actually be happy to see that a particular buyer has reviewed you so many times, left you 5 stars about 5 times, 10 times, 15 times. For them, it will serve as conviction that you're actually good in what you do. And so it's important that you're always putting in your best to deliver an excellent job. Always ask the client whether they are satisfied. Okay, are you satisfied? What can I do to improve my work? That sort of thing. It's going to be very, very helpful in getting the buyers returning for more and even recommending you to some of their friends. So there's this particular client I've been working with since last year. She's a journalist for the Wall Street Journal and she's also a lawyer. And when she was actually the second person I worked with, and she hired me at the time because she thought I was very cheap and she wasn't looking to spend a lot of money. And she wasn't actually expecting, because I'm from Africa, I'm from Ghana, she wasn't actually expecting I would do the work very well. So when I delivered the work and everything was so perfect, she was shocked, and then she hired me for life. And I've been working with her since last year. I've been working with her all the time. And I recently discovered that another client I've been working with, who is a psychologist, that client can place orders like crazy. The client can place an order 20 times in a row, and the lowest amount they'll be paying is like $20 or $30. So multiply that by 20. Okay, insane. And I recently discovered that this particular psychologist client who has been doing that was actually a recommendation from that second client I worked with, who was so thrilled with the kind of work I've been doing. And this psychologist also keeps coming back. Okay, so you realize that that first client I worked with, who was satisfied with the job I did, is not only returning, but she's also spreading the good news, and those people are also always returning. So it's important that your work is always A class. There's just no negotiation about that, okay? Always make sure you are delivering an A class job. Is there any other question? It seems there's no other question, because hopefully everything has been pretty straightforward. I promised you that today we're not going to spend so much time. I can see it's 8:30 already. So if no one has any other question, I just want to say thank you so much for joining today's session. And I'm grateful that you have spent the time with me. And I hope that you have gotten some kind of value, some sort of inspiration that is going to aid your career on Fiverr. If you face any difficulty implementing any of the strategies I have mentioned, please feel free to contact me and then we'll discuss it. If you feel the need to ask me to review your gigs and your seller profile the way a lot of you are already doing, feel free to message me so that I guide you, I see what is wrong. If everything is right, I give you the encouragement and the boost you need. And then we'll continue tomorrow, hopefully at the same time, 7 p.m. It's been amazing having all of you here. If there are no questions, good night. Enjoy your weekend.